What is up, everybody? It's the post-game show. Texas falls to the Gators. Tough game. We got Paul Wadlington here, Nick from Nino's Corner. We will also have Nash joining a little bit later. But before that happens, guys, make sure to go to InsideTexas.com. I'm sure the game thread is really fun right now. Join for just $1 single and get a full year of access to The Athletic. All right, chat, and my special guest. People already talking about Caldwell. What do we want to talk about? Should have left Caldwell in. Caldwell with the dot. He came in and just composed. He's done that every time he has to have one play. He's like, "Yeah, all right, going back out." Thanks for the.
I can't say those words might not have been said right while we're
earlier.
Yeah, understood.
So let me pull up.
I get the sentiment.
Let me pull up the stats here, fellas. All righty. We can just have them, but we'll talk through it.
Hey, I want to address something right off the bat. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Sports Talk Jay says, what has Flood actually done besides recruit a bunch of highly ranked Jags thinking it'll mold them? I want to correct that. He's recruited a lot of 3-star Jags as well.
Yeah.
So, let's be accurate if we're going to criticize him.
Yeah, what the Flood method is, take a bunch of whatevers, get the 5.
Don't develop them.
Yeah, but get the 1 5-star so the class looks good.
Yep.
Normal guys get the 5-star.
And a lot of pieces that need a bunch of development.
And when you get them in the weight room, focus on bar speed.
Yeah, exactly.
How fast do you bench 135?
Yeah. It's been rough. All right, we got Nash here. Oh.
There he is.
Gators, dude.
There he is.
All right, we're just starting up here. First things first, what side of the ball you want to talk about, the offense or the defense? The defense is what freaked me out. I knew the offense wasn't that good, but the defense is what made me nervous. We can start with the offense, though. First things first, what were y'all the big initial thoughts? Let me guess, offensive line?
Yeah.
Bad.
Definitely offensive line. The whole left side got worked.
The whole side got worked. Yeah.
The whole line got worked, man. I mean, Baker had how many penalties in the second half? 4 and 2 drives or something like that.
I think, did they have 7 overall, the O-line?
I don't know about O-line. We had 10 overall. 1 was Taff at least.
I think the O-line was 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah. And I think Baker had 3 or 4 on 2 drives alone. Pushed his bag to 2nd and 20 or something like that. Then you had Connor Stroh, leaving the game, and then he leaves, and they have Brooks come in, and immediately he gets in the game and he gets blown by, and Arch gets sacked immediately. But I felt like Brooks kind of held us on a little bit more the second half, but he had 2 costly penalties too as well on 1 drive. It was not good, man. Not good at all from the line.
Stroh really struggled early. They replaced him early in a drive with Nick Brooks, and then unfortunately when we started getting more into pass pro, Nick Brooks struggled just as much. He's better off the ball than Stroh, but we have multiple guys who are unplayable.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Steve Sarkisian, I believe this is now his 10th game with this team rushing for 2 yards or less, and he's only won 3 games. So when you have a Steve Sarkisian team that can't run the ball, at this point it's pretty well known that his passing game, he likes to disguise his passing plays to look like rush plays. So his entire offense is predicated off success in the run game. And if you can't succeed in the run game, then the entire offense is just the foundation of the offense is gone. And when you look at rushing for 2.0 yards per carry, and Arch Manning is your best rusher, while he's also getting sacked back there, versus when you were also think about this Florida team, they were bottom of the FBS.
Yeah,
and the ability to turn a pressure into a sack. So for them to even get Texas sacked, much less do it 4 or 5 times, I mean, this is just it's pitiful stuff, really, to be honest. There's no other way to say it.
To that point, Nash, I thought very seriously about picking Florida to win when we were doing our predictions, but I was like, I'm looking at these pressure and havoc numbers by the Florida defense and the defensive line. And honestly, if they can't get pressure, I mean, we're just going to kind of nickel and dime them and scheme up some stuff, and we'll get enough points on the board. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know how much Lagway is going to improve in the bye week. By the way, they improved in the bye week. But, that's ultimately why I didn't do it. But now there's really no floor for this offense because we're putting stuff on tape that just excites future defensive line coaches, future defensive linemen. You're now going to make calls that you would not ordinarily make in terms of replacement, gap games. You're going to make calls that are risky because you know this offensive line and these running backs, God help us, can't punish it. So it's bad what we're putting on film, and it might get worse because people are going to attack those tendencies. And it's stuff that, with respect, we've been pointing out in our deep dives, all 22 and the deep dive since Ohio State. Mm-hmm. And the hope is that it would get better. But ultimately, if you're not very strong and you're not very talented, you can't just get better with reps.
Didn't they run the same blitz 3 times in a row and it got there 3 times?
Got there 2. Yeah, exactly.
That was also where it's like, that's scary because we're just not recognizing like what was going on there. So, and PFF, shout out to them because kind of the common thought was like, well, this offensive line is good at pass blocking earlier in the season. But really, when you look at the PFFs, like we were high enough in pressures and hit. Really, it was just Arch was evading well. And that got exposed pretty quick too. Of course, Sam Houston bumped us up from like 70th to like 30th, but you can't look at that for the O-line pass blocking efficiency. So it was there. I just didn't expect it to get exposed that fast.
It was
a team that didn't put this on tape. Like they were not a penetrating defense at all. They were low in all of those categories. So it's not like we're going into playing Georgia. We know what they do. Like this team has not done that yet. And that's what's kind of disheartening about that.
And here's the thing too, is I think Arch Manning actually did a pretty good job today. Like he had a rough start and he bounced back from that. The first half was not good. I'm not going to pretend and act like that. But what we got in the second half, I mean, if our defense plays winning football, Arch Manning gave us a winning second half, right? We go out there and we win the game with this play.
I don't know, Nash. I don't know, Nash.
No, the interceptions, those are really – we're down 15 points, and we have to get 40, 50-yard plays now.
Yeah.
He's not able to go and operate the typical Steve Sarkisian offense that you're throwing a lot of the intermediate and lower level stuff. But
I don't know, Nash. That second pick he threw was right to the defender 10, 15 yards in front of him. I can't say
it wasn't that. It was not that bad of a miss. When you look at the angle that's looking down the middle, it wasn't that far off of Mosley.
Mosley was a little lazy.
Mosley looked
that kind of bothered me.
He didn't look like he. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm, know exactly what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to this, but he didn't look like he was running routes as hard as he does.
There were 2 times that Arch didn't put it on the money. It was not a good throw, but Mosley just kind of went like, meh.
Yeah, he was a little lazy, but
that stuck out to me. Here's the thing with Arch. He does some cool stuff. Like the NFL throws are there, the rollout and stuff like that, but just still the down to down is what freaks me out here with him. And he threw 2. What did he end up with? 2. He could have thrown
6, 5 easy. 5 easy.
At least 5. And so it's like that's the thing too, is like that's what worries me about it. Ends with 55%. I'm gonna really with Arch, I'm just gonna have to rewatch the all 22 really hard because I need to see if who's covered when they're not covered, all of that stuff. But I wouldn't say Arch was the problem of this game though. And so that's kind of my feel. So he did some cool stuff, but with that offensive line and being forced to play hero ball, you're going to force a little bit too.
I mean, like I'm honestly really I want to see what the SIS numbers are for quarterback hits, and I want to go like back and when we're done with this, I want to actually get together the Arch Manning throws and all of his plays. It felt like he was getting hit at least 50% of the time back there on the throw, like as he's throwing the football. So I mean, for me, it's even hard to judge a quarterback's accuracy when he's not even able to sit there and throw from a clean platform.
Yeah.
Much less, we're not even talking about dudes in your face. We're talking about like actually being hit.
Yeah, his mechanics are still – there's one where Jaden Woods lightly brushes his neck, and he still turns around with and acts like he just got hit by the best defensive end. So the mechanics are still not there for me. But it's once again like honing in on his Arch is the problem with this game. That's not what I got from it. I still think Arch has a lot of issues, and it's going to continue to be an issue.
No, he wasn't perfect by any means, but I think some people are like kind of. I've seen some people on Twitter saying he's a problem, and that's not. I don't agree with that.
The quarterback's going to bear the brunt of the blame from Joe Fan.
Especially when Caldwell comes in and throws 120
on time.
Well, I mean, he looked more patient. One play.
Clean pocket, everything.
The thing about Caldwell,
too much too.
Hey, I did like to see Ryan Wingo get out of bounds right there instead of just trying to go and get as much yards.
Well, the thing that Caldwell also did is he earned a personal foul on that play, which is what winners do. Like winners find a way to win.
Yeah.
So he connected on the pass, and he drew Florida into personal foul, hands to the face on the offensive lineman.
But it also
that's kind of just like, supposedly that's the Manning vibe, but it's the Caldwell vibe.
But that is what's frustrating because whenever he does come in for a play, he just takes the ball and completes it. Like there's not Arch has a lot of bounce and like let's roll out to him. Like Caldwell's just like
there's like no wasted motion.
All right, yeah, back to the sideline. Like so yeah, we're good with Arch. It's Arch still has a ton of problems. He wasn't the factor for me with this. It was offensive line losing the trenches. The defense has hopefully a weird game, but I'm not sure about that even anymore.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what freaks me out.
We got whipped on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Like make no mistake. I mean, there were so yes, the offensive line. Look, I hope I have enough street cred that I've already like said all the things that manifested today, right? However, I mean, like Murad Watson got put on skates 5 or 6 times to the point where it's like you have to take him out of the game. He's not even competing. January really struggled. They really struggled with those guys, almost like they're not strong enough. I don't know. It's weird.
This is the first game that we've watched where I think all 3 phases of the ball we got completely whipped on all 3 phases, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the box score does not suggest an 8-point game. I mean, I thought Florida dominated us.
They did.
Yeah.
No, they did.
So the 8 points was fortuitous. The fact that we had a chance to win or tie at the end of the game is incredible.
Yeah.
Well, and then here's the thing: is I don't know why Billy Napier went away from the run game.
No, he should have just kept pounding.
Here's the deal: is like that. Like this is like that. That's one reason why I think Bill Napier should still be fired. Like this is like this is disguising Billy Napier's incompetence. He gave us 10 seconds on the clock at the end of the game. Like what the hell are you doing, dude? Like I think what he was doing was he was saying, you know what, I want to keep my starting offensive lineman out there, and he doesn't have to leave the field like Arch Manning did. But I mean, dude, like Jaden Ball, like. He going into this game, he was leading all FBS running backs with 53.1% missed tackles plus broken tackles per attempt.
Yeah.
Like, that is such elite level stuff. Like, I think that's like the highest that you can find over the last like 5 or 6 years. And that's where like what Texas Homer said kind of, I do wonder, like, are we going to see this again? Because on one hand, right, like there were some issues, but two, on the other hand, we're not going to see many Jaden Balls.
Well, but we are going to see some offensive lines who fire out.
We will.
And drive their feet.
And that's where I say, like, some of the issues that you mentioned, right? Like, there are the issues, right? But at the same time, there was a lot of times that I saw that we had hands on the guy in the backfield.
Oh, yeah.
And he turns up and, takes a negative 2-yard rush and then gets it +7.
But that was Baugh the previous 3 games. The difference was the Florida offensive line sucked the previous 3 games. So Baugh would make dudes miss and still lose 2 yards.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying his day's a lot worse if he doesn't have the elite ability to break and miss tackles. His days, I don't think that we are harping on the run game the way that we are right now.
Yeah, but what I'm worried about is the offensive line.
Yeah,
that offensive line having success against our D line.
They whipped our defensive line. They straight up whipped them.
Yeah, Ball's gonna get his like that. He's great, but it's like that's what freaks me out more. I did not see that. I thought we wanted to see the defense tested in the air, and we saw that a little bit. That's what Ohio State didn't show us. But I didn't, not even a mile, think that the defensive line was going to struggle in the run like that. Getting beat by offensive line and then like having trouble securing the edge and just kind of out of position and late to stuff. And that's the one I didn't see coming at all. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I was thoroughly surprised about how easy that they were able to run the ball on us, man. I thought that the defensive line was the strongest point of our defense, and I was like, look, we can handle folks. One thing that we can count on is that our defense is going to carry, and we're going to stop the run. Us not stopping the run was very surprising to me. I mean, well, not stopping it, but just limiting it. For Bob to come out here and get over 100 yards rushing us and make it look easy. Like, he made it look easy. Like, every time he fell forward, it's for 5 yards, right? It's like he had a play like in the backfield where it should have been like a -3, and he makes one move and falls forward for 3 yards. So, it's that just really got me. I think missing Manny might have hurt us a lot more than people think. So Manny not being, there, so Kobe Black, he got pretty worked today too as well, which was honestly very alarming to as well. Taft, very physical player. He got out physical today quite a bit. Ford got beat a couple times too as well. But also give credit to the Florida players too. They got 5 stars over there too, man.
Dallas Wilson's nice.
You know what I'm saying? Wilson's nice. They got 5 stars over there too. They got good players over there too, man. So they showed out. They came to play. I think Florida had the juice. I think we kind of sleptwalk a little bit, and I don't think our defense woke up at all, to be honest with you. And that kind of set the tone for the team.
Yeah, I think a really underrated part of Manny Muhammad's game is his ability to be a sure tackler on the edge. He's a really good run tackler, and it's one of these deals where you combine that with also Kobe Black. I mean, like, there was that one touchdown, he's on the ground, right, and it's like, oh crap, like, damn it, it's just not going good for him out there, right? We really, really miss Five's presence out there. And
just the length too.
I really think
the length.
The team just came out. Really, I don't think that we were ready to play a football game in the first half, right? The tackling just was not there. Like to what you're saying, right? I mean, I was doing a live show just the other day with Ford, and I'm sitting there thinking about like a Texas team like missing tackles, just like we just watched it right here. And I was like, man, it just feels so alien to me, right? Like thinking about like this modern Texas team, right? 2025 looking like a 2021, 2022 Texas defense. And that's kind of what we saw out there. It looked like we were tackling with butter, we got butter all up on our arms, and we can't, guys are slipping out. And I understand, like, Ball, he came in with the 53.1% missed tackle percentage. But
we were out of position. We were out of step a lot too. Like, we weren't in great spots. Like, we weren't reading.
We just weren't ready. We weren't ready to play a football game coming out of a bye. Yes, like, and that's like, but here's the deal: is I want to go like back and like look at it. It feels like we see this more often when we're coming out of a bye. That Texas really just doesn't feel ready to play a football game, and that does concern me a little bit.
Yeah, Paul, what did you think about secondary play and all of that?
For what it's worth, the third string running back for Florida, because Jacoby Jackson was out, Duke Clark, he had the same yards per carry effectively as Ball.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what bothered me too. Is whenever I would see a guy that I'm not familiar with running, and they had success inside, they had success outside. Like, it was just kind of all around.
Secondary was really Kobe Black was not ready for prime time. Grayson Littleton lost a battle in space one time to a guy who's a 5-star. Florida's got a bunch of 5-star freshmen running wide receivers running around out there. I mean, it wasn't great. There were some things schematically that I just thought were weird. Like, there's PK's very frustrating because he does so many big things right, but there's little things in the game that I can see, and I'm like, dude, so like Lagway's noticeably limping in the game, and we're playing Colin Simmons as a spy, and we're doing containment rushes. And you can tell when there's a containment rush because no Texas defensive lineman gets any pressure or attempts to. They just jack up the offensive lineman and then kind of like two gap, but they're pass rushing. And it was kind of what we did against Washington back in the playoff game that I was watching. What are you doing? This doesn't make any sense. And Lagway wasn't going to hurt us with his feet. And also at this point, we're trying to create turnovers. We're trying to get the ball. We're trying to get behind the chains. You got to let it go. And we started to let it go a little later in the game, and I thought it went okay for us. I do have to call out Colin Simmons, who had an amazing 3-sequence series of plays to end the half. They tried to run at him 3 times, and it was like TFL stuff. So that was very encouraging because some of our other edge players had a tough time setting the edge. Just incoherent on defense. But I think it started up front. They came out. They didn't do anything surprising. I said they're going to come out in 2 tight ends and run the ball downhill and then throw the ball and play action. Yep. And then, they're going to have some jet sweep action. They're going to do some little stuff for eye candy to like steal a 3rd down conversion. And that's what they did. I mean, they didn't do anything surprising or that we couldn't anticipate. They just, they beat us. They were the better team. There's no question they were the better team. So
they hadn't used Ball like this yet. Like Ball coming out and getting 7 carries on the first drive, like 8 carries on the first drive.
Yeah, but that was predictable.
That's a brand new. That's brand new.
That was predictably brand new.
No, I mean, no, yeah. I even my dumb ass could see that coming from a mile away. And especially when the only other guy that was carrying the football for them up to this point was rolled out of the game. So
yeah,
it's one of these deals where, I do like. It does make me wonder why we didn't see that coming, because this is, I don't know. I feel like we were not prepared to tackle, especially much less prepared to tackle a slippery guy like Jaden Ball. I mean,
at one point didn't we have like 8 guys in the box and they were still running on us? I've seen from the all 22, but it's like. Some of it was seeing it coming, and some of it was just like we just didn't stop.
It's like it's the reason why they ran the ball at Colin Simmons 3 times in a row is because he had his arms wrapped around Ball twice in the backfield before that point, and Ball slips away from him, goes just like nothing happened, like Colin Simmons wasn't there. Like it's like, hey, we're hugging, happy to see you, man. Later, right? Like that. That's why they ran at him 3 times because they just didn't respect him, right? And it's one of these deals where we woke up in the second half, right? But I mean, to your point, there's only so much you can mitigate when you're also getting pushed around by the offensive line, who is not really that good.
So top line observation. There's a lot of Sark. It's starting to dawn on him, and it already was. He's not dumb. He understands what's going on. It's going to really hit home with him because of the game result on the scoreboard. Mm-hmm. He's got position coaches and other coaches in strength and conditioning and in personnel who've been lying to him. They've been lying to him.
We're good on O-line.
We're good on O-line. We don't need help. These guys are coming.
We don't need transfers. Nope, we're good.
By the way, running back room, same deal.
Nope.
Personnel. Hey, if your personnel people can't tell Sark, hey, we're self-scouting here. We don't think these guys. We're surveying the other running back rooms in the college football. Our guys are not up to par. If you're not able to do that, then what are you doing in personnel? If you can't have that conversation. And by the way, none of us are perfect. We've all made mistakes. But at some point after January or even after the spring, you raise your hand if you're Kyle Flood and you go, hey man, we're not good. We're not good. And he didn't do that. I have a real problem with subordinate that I've given a lot of responsibility and I've tasked, hey, man, you are the O-line guy. You are titularly my co-offensive coordinator. You're not, but it's a title to get you more money and more sense of responsibility. He was not able to hold up his hand and say, you know what, I kind of blew this, both in the recruiting trail and maybe developmentally. I don't know what's up. Some of these guys aren't ready to play. He never did that. If I was in charge, I would not be real happy with that. And so Sark is going to have an opportunity to rectify this. This is going to have to be rectified after the season. Here's the good news. Almost all of this can be rectified in one offseason.
Yeah. All right. That's a poignant point. Well, it's frustrating because we knew it was coming. On Inside Texas, we were like, these rooms need help. And didn't happen. All right, before we keep going, though, guys, let's hear a word from a captain.
Any gate can be a tailgate.
Why would a great running back sign up to put them behind the lines they put out? I mean, yeah, that's the tough part is I want Ball. And Ball has no motivation. If Napier got fired, hey, Ball, and he'll be like, I'm good. I'll go to wherever, whoever is a contender. But, yeah, that's the frustrating part, that you could see some of this coming from a mile away. It upsets me, the hubris, and someone says it earlier, kind of like, I'm looking at the sideways at the offensive staff to look at this group of talent and think that they were going to be really good. It's like, well, what the hell were we doing in practice that made you think that? Because it's just like, even at wide receiver right now, and I'm not going at wide receiver. I understand that that's down the thing, but I don't see anything crazy there that freaks me out. The quarterback struggles, does weird stuff. Offensive line can't do anything. Running back, tight ends are still non-existent, non-effective. There's not like a room here or a single guy here that I'm like, okay, I can really rely on him. That's also kind of what freaks me out. What did they see during the spring? So what do y'all think there?
I think Sark thought that this was going to be the factory that he thought he was building, right? Where one leaves and one steps up, right? So we lose Bijan, and then we get Jonathan Brooks, who has just as good of a season, and he is the top pick, in the draft for his position that year, right? And then it's just a new guy comes in, and they keep churning them in and out, and it's not that. The depth that he thought he had when it comes to talent here in this team is not what he thought he had, and just like Paul said, his coordinators, and his coaches, they are lying to him. They've been in these rooms and they've seen the film, and they know that we got a starting offensive line that lost 4 guys on the line, and the guys that are replacing them are not up to par. They're just not up to snuff, right? So he needs to be a true leader right now and figure out how to get his staff cleaned out or up to par to where we can be back to winning again, man, because this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, and it's going to continue to be an issue. Like, this is the first loss of a few that are coming. And so that's where it kind of freaks me out. Anything final from the offense, guys? I mean, this is not shocking. Like, that this was going to happen on offense. We knew we didn't have crazy players. This side of the ball is not that interesting to me. I knew we'd kind of struggle here.
Specifically, when you're talking about the running backs, I think that, like, to what Nino said about the running back factory, I think that we had that, and when we had Stan Drayton, but now that we don't have Stan Drayton anymore recruiting guys, I mean, the guys that Stan Drayton recruited, they were doing pretty damn good. I mean, Roschon Johnson looked. Stan Drayton turned a quarterback from Roschon Johnson into a legit NFL draft pick, and then you also got Jonathan Brooks, who, even on a devastating injury, fresh off it, right? Basically worst circumstances that you could come up with for a running back to go into the NFL draft with, and he still gets drafted in the second round, which is really high for a running back.
What freaked me out too is they chose Baxter over Brooks that year too, and like that to start him, and I'm like, what the hell are we looking at?
And you know me behind, like, in the group chats, I was big on Brooks from the jump, but like that really did kind of irk me when they were giving Baxter and that's not like to say anything bad about Baxter. It's just Brooks is a different level of running back than Brooks.
Yeah, that was a monetary thing.
Yeah, we all know. Yeah, that's
I mean, it's just is what it is. And the truth is, we have one of the highest paid running back rooms in college football.
Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, how do you remake it?" I was like, "Well, I could remake it and actually pay them half." I have better players than to pay a half. So yeah, it wouldn't be very hard.
Yeah.
So the bummer of all this is that if everything else was up to par, an average running back ain't going to hold you back. Like, that's there. But those pieces become more and more important because you're looking for some kind of playmaking from somewhere, right? And that's where it gets into this negative feedback loop on our offense, because you're just not getting guys who can create something out of the blue. And it's unfortunate, but that's kind of where we are. And I don't think there's like easy ways to coach us out of it in season.
Well, I mean, here's the deal: is like, this is kind of an interesting thought experiment. What do you think this offense would look like even with the Bijan Robinson running the ball? I don't think that
it wouldn't be great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like even with what Bijan can do behind the offense, like to make guys miss and all that stuff, I don't know if we would have this amazing rushing attack just because Bijan Robinson is there. We got some.
Well, when Bijan was here, we didn't have a good O-line.
We didn't have a good offensive line.
The point
He
was
just
that-
so bad.
but it's even worse.
right, but we'll have to see. I mean, probably, but we were playing a Big 12 schedule, right?
That's true.
That's true.
I mean, the Big 12, if you want to just watch them play, and the reason Texas Tech is like going off right now in the Big 12 is they have SEC bodies playing in the Big 12, right? They went and bought. So, but what Bijan was able to do was pull stuff out of his butt 2 or 3 times a game and just create a 60-yard run with making 3 dudes miss, right? Or you could integrate him in the passing game, which would be very helpful for this team. Again, I'm not saying a single running back is the solution to anything. My point was when you're struggling in other key core issues and areas, when your running backs are Jags, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
Because you're just not going to create stuff from whole cloth, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear this, Connor. Florida fan here. Guys, why did you let Billy Napier keep his job? I think just for a couple weeks, man. That schedule was brutal. Because the problem I said, what Napier screwed himself over with is he just put on tape that Florida can look competent. So if they don't look competent again, then he just gets fired harder.
This is the worst thing that possibly could have happened.
Yeah.
If you're a
They got a
Florida fan
brutal
that wanted
schedule.
him to go. Yeah, you're right.
What's gonna piss me off is if
Covering up Nash's face is very disrespectful.
no, it's they can do that as much as they want. But dude, honestly, what's gonna piss me off is if next week Billy Napier comes out there and just completely ignores Jaden Baugh and then just passes the ball.
Well,
a
that
bunch
can't
of times.
happen.
And it's just like, dude, screw you, man. Right? Like
Texas is an undisciplined football team that is on the head coach. Yeah, there's no question. And the thing with Sark is we still had an extra 2 or 3 walk-in touchdowns that we missed. But people point out it's like, yeah, exactly. It's still on the coach that you're not executing and you're missing. But it's like Sark to me is like the offense is and has been, I will hand you these gimmies. But if I don't hand you the gimmies, the offense doesn't do a lot. Like it's very gimme based to me. Occasionally you'll get some fourth quarter run drive like versus Arkansas and stuff like that, but we're just never been like great executors of offense at all.
It really, I mean, honestly, this is the one thing that we have never seen with Steve Sark. And I mean, well, also as a Texas fan, I don't think we've seen it since Roy Williams almost. We need a contested catch guy that we can just, hey, one-on-one, I can just like toss it up to you and you're going to come. I know that you're going to come down with it because right now we don't have that, right? We got a bunch of wide receivers that, hey, if they're open, they can catch the football, right?
Yeah.
But where's the guy that's going to go up there and he's going to bully it? He's going to bully a defensive back. Like, where's our Dallas?
Well, yeah, Golden AD, like we had, it's that style. We don't have a guy that can win. We have a guy that's, if he's wide open on the crosser and you throw it really well, he'll catch it type of thing. But
even
with the arch on the lip,
Golden's probably the closest one, but I'm talking about like just a true
we haven't had that at all.
Yeah, true.
But with Livingston, where he gets
hurt, gonna body guys.
Like Arch still could throw a better ball there. Like it's even when we do make nice plays,
he throws a much better deep ball than Quinn Ewers. But it's almost like you took every aspect that Quinn Ewers was bad at,
inverted
and then
it.
you just flipped it right to the other side of the coin. Like, hey, here's a guy that's mobile in the pocket and can throw the deep ball. But when you're talking about all these touch throws and intermediate level throws, yeah, it's going to reverse.
Yeah, AD Mitchell was our last.
Yeah, he's our last go up and get it kind of guy.
Contested catch. Hey man, just make a play.
We haven't had that in a long time here in the 40. I mean, just like a consistent guy for 3 or 4 years here. Yeah.
Either we're not selecting for that or there's something about how we practice and how the offense is run that doesn't drill that naturally, at least for it to happen. But
you have to recruit that. That's not taught.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also the scheme is very you're wide ass open, here you go. So it's like you also don't get a lot of even reps in that world, like with the fade ball jumping up. Like I agree it's personnel, but it's it's still just this design is not really calling for that. It's like wide ass open, check down.
Well, even if it's not calling for it, right? Those guys are nice to have for moments like.
Oh, I want them. I want them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, contested catchers are my favorite. I don't even like little fast guys. I like the big fucking get it receivers. Like 100%.
I heard all I heard was I hate Xavier Worthy right there.
No, dude, I was watching him the other day versus the Chiefs, and he's developed a lot more skill in that regard. I've been impressed with some of the stuff that he's worked on in the NFL. It's actually more of a slight at Tyreek Hill, for whatever reason. But all right, let's talk defense. Everyone in here wants to talk about OU. We have all week to talk about OU. I'm not talking about
I don't want to talk about OU.
Yeah, like I'm not talking about OU, man. So the defensive side, that's what worried me. That I did not see that coming. Maybe a couple of deep passes or something like that, but consistent running all over us. That freaked me out. Paul, what was that? What is that? Tell me, Paul.
Well, I mean, I think they were a little shocked. I think Nash has a good point. They weren't ready to play. That's pretty obvious. I think they were shocked. Like a bunch of guys are firing out on them with a 230-pound running back right behind them who's both slippery and will drop a shoulder on you, right? And they don't see that. When we go good on good, that's not what it looks like.
At practice for sure.
They get an offensive lineman who stands up, Mummy walks at him and does hat on hat. I am on you. I am on you, right? I am absorbing your blow. Florida's offensive line, I mean, their guard, George, I don't know if you saw that dude 360 from North Shore kid.
Yep.
He fired out and like drove our defensive tackles off the line a couple times, January and Murad Watson.
That's where I knew him from.
Yeah, Damian George, right?
Yeah.
He came from Bama, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Jake Slaughter had a good game. I mean, now we kind of like, if you look at the box score, you'll be like, oh, 4 yards a rush. They didn't hurt us. Situationally, that's not how it really went down, right? Yeah. We stuffed their run game later when it was like more obvious and they kind of had their weird flirtation with throwing that Nash was referencing. But ultimately, I think that was surprising to them to encounter a bunch of guys who played downhill on them and handed it off to a really elite running back. And, you know, Florida has home field. They were fired up. This is their backs against the wall, all that. And you kind of expect it. And you're like, all right, we'll absorb it. We'll come back. It'll be tied at halftime. We'll win the game by a field goal, whatever. But at no time did we ever assert physical dominance on them in any phase. And that's what the game boiled down to. They were more physically dominant than we were. I don't think we're a very strong football team. So I mean, make of that what you will.
I mean, in the second half, I think that we defend the run well. I mean, like Florida rushed for 2.5 yards per carry, which that if you do that over the course of a game, that's going to get the job done. But the problem is we let them rush for 5.4 yards per carry in the first half. It was 113 yards in the first half on 21 carries. They had 46 yards in the second half on 18 carries.
Yeah,
now, some of that is due to sacks taken away from it.
Yeah,
right. But
so Nash, here's my big pet peeve on this, and I hear you. If it's 3rd and 2 and they rush for 2, they kicked your ass.
It kicked your ass, yeah.
I don't care what your per carry average was.
That's a successful play.
Did we change structure though? Did we go like is the second half?
We started to like, even if positionally we didn't have 8 in the box, we had a guy flying down.
Okay, so that makes I want to be able to defend the run from too high. Like that's what the great teams do. So if we go 8-man and stop them, like the elite teams don't go 8-man to stop it. So it's that too. I'll need to see more on the all 22.
I think Texas. I think also this game really like this goes to like what I was talking about. Like it felt like we weren't ready. Like the ball's on the ground. Like we need to hop on that thing. And I understand it might have a weird bounce, right? But like we got to get on that ball. If we get on that ball at the very beginning, it almost feels like the fans like just immediately turn against Billy Napier, right? And then this game could go a completely different direction because now Billy Napier says, "Oh, well, we got to start passing the ball, right?" And then now you start maybe getting some interception turnovers from DJ Lagway, like doing what DJ Lagway does best. But I mean, it's just one of these deals where it really felt like we weren't ready to show up, like ready to play football. Like when guys are in motion, right? We're nowhere near them when they get to 5 yards past the line of scrimmage.
This is my problem with that though. Is Texas wasn't ready to play, but you know who was ready to play against Florida? Last week, Miami. The week prior to that, LSU, and then guess who else? South Florida. They were ready to play again.
That's the thing
Florida.
Florida didn't look like that.
Florida.
I think Florida was motivated off of a bye. I think their coach potentially getting fired, but also I just think Texas is not as good as we thought.
Exactly.
So I think it's both. I think that they had a really big game, but I think Texas got exposed in a lot of ways too. So it's, there's multiple losses coming. Like we don't know what the floor is, but it's not 9 wins. That's not the floor anymore. So
exactly.
So that's a big
7-5. Here we come, Texas Bowl.
When can we evaluate the pass rush? Because we're at 5 games in, and at first I was like, it's quick passing offenses, it's non-conference, there's no but now we're in SEC play with 0 sacks. Do we need the halfway? Like, when do we actually start intelligently going like, hey, what's up with the pass rush not getting home?
Well, I do think there are times when we pass rush to contain, and that's appropriate if we're playing Michael Hawkins. But when DJ Lagway is limping around, that's not the appropriate call. Colin Simmons is not a spy. That's not his best use. And you know that Lagway really suffered when LSU blitzed him. LSU blitzed him on every freaking down. I've never seen anything like it. And they played zone and man behind it. They didn't just play man behind their blitzes. So that was a little surprising to see us like rushing to contain on a guy who had no interest in running the football. And I maybe couldn't run the football. I mean, he was limping around, right? So that was odd. That was off. That was like off-putting. But Florida's O-line, I know like people, I think I wrote this in my preview. I was like, you're not going to believe this, but their O-line's pretty good despite their results to date. And they did a good job in pass pro. They'd really struggled at right tackle. And we didn't really ever take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. It's difficult to say. I know we didn't run a lot of games. Some of that was their respect for their running game and Baugh. We didn't want to do a lot of like slanting and gap replacement stuff because he might just pop it, go 60. But at some point when you're kind of getting your ass kicked, you got to try to go get the ball. You try to get possession of the ball. And, Florida laid it on us in the first half, but they were effective offensively in the second half. Enough.
Yeah, and that was the interesting part about Florida when you were evaluating. You're like, this is a talented team. Like, they have players. What's going on? And really, just if the offense can click, they will look like a totally different thing because their special teams has been good. Their defense has been good. The offense is able to click after 2 weeks of the bye week. So
also, honestly, guys, we don't have any comps the way that Florida had comps or priors. And what I mean by that is we played one very good team that played a very conservative game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And on defense, they played, now people, I guess, believe me. I was like, hey, conceding the run was their game plan.
Yep.
And people are like, oh, no one does that. And it's like, everyone does that in the NFL. And that's Matt Patricia's training, right?
Yep.
And then we played 3 really bad teams. And I know people are like, oh, they're G5. No. Like, they're really bad G5 teams. Within their league, they're bad. And so we had one really good team and 3 terrible teams. So how do we compete against someone in here? We didn't know yet. Yeah. Florida played 2 good teams and 1 very good team.
Yeah.
And then 1 scrub. So they've competed with teams like or comparable to Texas 3 times this year. And we've only competed with 1 team that's good in Ohio State at their place. And I think their game plan may have given us some complacency about like what our real capabilities are on defense, because Ohio State's playing it pretty close to the vest.
Yeah. My joke question was just how bad is Ohio State after Florida beat us? But that's their offense. Like what? They had 4 passes of over 10 yards.
Well, one of them was they're using the threat of their receivers to play conservative offense.
Yeah.
Like move the chains, right? And be like, they're weirdly like a ball control offense.
I mean, I disagree with that. I think that the reason why one of the big reasons why they were so conservative on offense was one. I mean, this is Julian Satan's first start versus not just a power foot. Like this is his first legit start for Ohio State.
Yeah, sure.
And then second, like I mean, like you do that. Like I think Texas going into that game had a 48-game turnover streak. I mean, I think that both Ryan Day and Steve Sarkisian knew that the winner of that game was going to be the one that won the turnover battle.
So what are you disagreeing
because
with?
they had one there was one turnover.
What are you disagreeing with?
That
they ran a
Ohio
conservative
State
game plan?
was that they were conservative. I'm trying to think of what the
We were saying they ran a
the reason why they
conservative
were
game.
conservative on offense.
Yeah,
was
they were.
to avoid turnovers against Texas, not to avoid not to hold cards close to their chest and
No, I'm not saying they're saving it for.
I might have misheard you.
No, they're not saving it for Michigan. No, I'm saying what they did is they ran a conservative game plan so they didn't lose the game.
Yeah,
So
I know,
that way
but
we didn't
there's a lot of people do have an idea that they didn't want to reveal too much versus Texas. They kind of wanted to
No,
they wanted to only do what they had to do.
It was game one for saying. And that's why they ran conservative. But the problem is that they ran conservative, so we didn't get a real litmus test of what we were looking at. And that's why we were able to get exposed on defense today. And I didn't see that coming. I saw the offensive side coming, but that was
alarming.
Well, I mean, I would if you were to ask me, I would think that Ohio State would have a better offensive line than Florida, which that's one thing that makes me question almost like to what you said earlier. Are we going to see this again, or is this just a one-off?
Florida State, I had them as a better O-line than Ohio State before the season.
Florida State or Florida?
Right, Florida. Yeah, Florida. By the way, Fluff Bothwell, 40 yards rushing in the first quarter against the Aggies.
That's your Hardy, huh?
That's my other dude. Yeah. That's one of many G5 running backs that were available for on the cheap.
Yeah.
Because he's playing at Mississippi State.
Well, they had Slaughter. Who's their left tackle? He's a player too, right?
Yeah, I mean they've got multiple guys that are on NFL draft boards and all that. And when they got humming last year, their offensive line was really good in outside zone and inside zone. That's all Billy Napier really does, right? So, yeah, I mean I think, dude, to Nash's point, Florida's going to go out against A&M next week and lose by 30.
Yeah,
just
what's going to happen?
Validate everything they just did.
It's going to happen.
Oh gosh,
Ball has 10 carries.
Yeah,
that's right. Ball has 10 carries.
It would never hit an end of
10 carries for 70 yards, 5 interceptions. And it's just like
Napier installs the run and shoot on Wednesday.
He calls another timeout to avoid another 10-second runoff.
He did it twice. So in different forms. He didn't call his timeout in time in the first half and make us punt from the end zone. They just blocked our punt.
He sat there, thought about it for 15 seconds, and he was like, "You know what? I do want to call timeout." And then
I do want to block their punt and go up.
I was walking to go get a glass of I was walking to go get some ice for my drink, and I'm like, this is where elite coaches, they think about these things ahead of time. They're like, you know what? When this scenario comes up, I want to do this so that they know they're. But no, he's reacting on the fly.
Yep.
Which is honestly scary that we got beat by that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Guess what? Huddle up, football fans. Tailgate season is here, and nobody gets Texas ready for game day like Academy Sports and Outdoors. Swing by your local Academy store or shop online at academy.com to find grills, canopies, jerseys, and more. Be a watch party legend with gear from top brands like Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour at undefeatable prices every single day. Fun can't lose, and neither can you with tailgate gear from Academy. Academy Sports and Outdoors is the official sporting goods and outdoor retailer of the SEC. All righty.
My buddy and co-host Randy Boone just sent me a picture. His wife's an Aggie, and he's at the game right now. And he is the Longhorn that when they do all the swaying, he folds his arms.
Oh, yeah.
And just stands there,
so the cameraman.
Paul,
the cameraman
did you
gets
see the
excited.
guy that was in the he had the Home Depot hat on, Texas jersey.
Yes,
he was in the core cadet. Bro, that guy is legitimately. I think that I still say, hey, CDC, let's go ahead and get that guy a full ride scholarship. Texas, right? Like, because here's the deal. I've seen Texas fans, like, with Texas gear on, doing, like, participating in the swaying stuff, and it's like, no. You're not allowed. Not allowed back anymore.
It's like trying to
wear the maroon.
They just love tradition, guys. They
That's
couldn't
right.
help it. They just love good tradition. All right, so let's a little bit of a forward look. We just have like 10 minutes left.
Thank God.
What does this mean? Yeah, what does this mean? What does this mean in context? I've already stated what I think it means for this season, but what does this mean?
All right, I got it right here, man. Okay, the most a team learns in a season is between week 1 and week 2, right? By week 3, you know what your team is. You do. By week 3, you know what you got, right? By week 3, we knew exactly what we had on offense, and we thought we knew what we had on defense. It looks like our defense, I wouldn't say it's fool's gold yet. If this happens against OU, and then like the game after that, then we can start to say, okay, our defense isn't what we thought they were going to be. However, what we were after week 3 is who we are for the entire season. This team is going to be tested a lot more going forward because we got a lot more stuff on tape, and there's not much more that you're going to improve on week by week now. Now it's about game install. So there is no more real coaching going on throughout the weeks to say, this is how we're going to get better here. You don't have the time to do it. The time to do that was, like Paul was saying, in the summer, in the spring, and some in the fall prior to the season actually starting. Now we just got to buckle down. We got a very senior team on defense when you start to look at it, right? You got your tabs, right? Simmons is young, but you got Anthony Hill, who's a junior. You got your Ethan Burks. These guys are senior leaders on this team. Gilbo's as well. They're going to have to turn it up and then just make this team their team to be able to, basically just try to step forward and make this team the best team that it can be possible for the season. But usually what you are after week 3 is who you are. This team looks like right now, I said an 8-4 team, Homer, in the chat. This is a 7-5 team. This is a 7-5 team unless they get stuff together. And then this team's looking at Texas Bowl right down the – I don't want to say it, man. Texas Bowl down the throat, man. It is what it is.
Dang.
You know what? Homer, I've been saying 11-1. And 11-1 is not on the table anymore. But you know what is on the table? 10-2, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We're
all right, Nash.
We're back on it.
You know what? We're going to get a chance for revenge when we see Florida in the playoff.
Yeah. That's my favorite loser talk. As soon as you lose, it's just like, we'll see you in the playoffs. Like,
we'll see.
We'll see in the SEC championship.
There's also not going to be a top 12 team after this new poll comes out. So that's you're top 11, really. So, yeah, this is not a playoff team. But what do you think what can we glean from it, Paul? It's not going to turn around. This is not a needs more reps thing. How do you take the actual raw materials that we got and at least try to maximize? How do we get to, if it's 7-5, how do we get to 8 wins?
Well, I do think that we'll be in every game we play. So that's good news. And it's bad news that our opponents will also be in every game they play against us. Whether it's Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, A&M, OU,
Kentucky.
Well, I think we might have Kentucky. I think we might have that one, but we'll see. We'll see how. Who knows, man? But ultimately, you just have to sort of incrementally improve. Now, that's the goal. You can't do leaps and bounds. That's just delusional. So, are there things we can do to get the defense back on track? Can we look at, hey, why we got to match situations to some of our calls? Hey, why are we rushing to contain when DJ Lagway is limping around? Let's start to be a little smarter and some incremental things. Hey, Arch, I understand the O-line is not blocking well for you. You're getting hit a lot. You can't hold on the ball, man. You Jackson Arnold a couple of times on those reps, and you just got to get the ball out. And Sark, is there a guy he can get the ball out to?
Right.
Yeah.
So we're not going to address our pass blocking issues by keeping a running back in. Go put the running back out in the flat and give Arch an option, right?
Spread it out.
I mean, a couple of times we had pass pros. Don't get me on I'm going to have to write about this in Inside Texas. But I think we have 2 pass protections. I'm not joking. I think we do a pull protection and a slide protection. And slide protections are really easy to attack if they're predictable. Mm-hmm. So we had a couple of protections where Wisner was on a defensive end and we had 2 offensive linemen unoccupied next to him.
Mm-hmm.
With their
Like,
arms out, acting like they're doing something.
Like, be a football player, man. Like, go find work.
Find somebody. Yeah.
Like, let's go. I understand that this is what you're taught, and you're being very, like, literal about it. But, like, let's also be football players. And if your scheme's not allowing that, that's a conversation we need to have too. We're also playing a lot of 2 tight ends, and our tight ends aren't like super helpful as blockers. So,
You know what?
what are we getting out of that, right?
You know what? All I hear is I want to put Nick. I want to put Townsend at guard, just one of the guard positions.
Heavy metal.
That dude. Say what you will about him. He's looking for work. He just wants to hit.
He's trying to get on the field.
Right?
He's like, coaches, like, look, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's almost to exactly to Paul's point though. Like I've seen tight ends like sitting there like Shannon. I've seen Shannon a couple times, almost like standing around like looking for like pulls the ticket out, like watching the play, right? Almost like looking for something to happen, like waiting for something to come to him. Townsend, I haven't seen that once. If he has a clear blocking assignment and he's not running route, he's out there. He's just trying to hit the first guy that he sees.
But Nash, that tells you something.
At least he has that.
No, but that tells you something. Townsend is a true freshman, right?
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been coached out of him yet. Seriously, man. Look, military terms, we always say something like this, right? Nobody rises up to the occasion. You fall back down to the level of your training.
Yeah.
Right. And so the level of these training that these guys have been in for 3 or 4 years has been to wait for something to come to you because the coaches in practice aren't telling them to go find somebody to hit. Right. So they're just sitting there waiting. Townsend's probably he's a true freshman who doesn't know any better. And all he wants to do is go blow up somebody and blow up a play because he knows how to be a freaking.
Well, I'm not saying that he's like doing anything wrong. I mean,
no. Nash, I am agreeing with you.
He's blocking the wrong guy. Yeah.
No, I am agreeing with you that he wants to go hit somebody. But the guys who were on the team, who've been on this team for 2, 3, 4 years, it's been coached out of them, right? That this is what they are taught to do is to sit and wait for somebody to come to them. They haven't been able to go out there and exert themselves to go hit somebody. And it's because in practice, they're not being yelled at and told, I don't need your butt sitting here waiting for somebody. Go find somebody to uncleat, So, yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Sure, Kane Daddy, sending this in because I have a feeling the YouTube number is going to be it's actually the weird part. The worse it goes, the better it will get.
This is a guy who's not done a lot of writing trust me, I've done this for a long time.
People want to talk and they want to have therapy.
The most read things I've ever written are calling for coaches to be fired, pointing out that Charlie Strong wasn't going to work out, pointing out that Todd Orlando was a fraud. That's the most widely read things I've ever written. And the things where I'm saying, oh my gosh, Colt McCoy improved so much from 2007 to 2008. People are like, I guess.
Yeah, I don't care. People love to commiserate. Like your numbers actually do better, which is weird.
Screw the broadcasters, man. They jinxed the hell out of Arch Manning. They're like they literally said, "Hey, Arch Manning's been reached out by Colt McCoy. He had an angel reach out Colt McCoy, and then literally not going to play later." It's like
it's the Parker Warby commercials.
No.
Dude, those commercials are brutal.
The glasses commercials.
Well, and then not only is it brutal, it's brutal because of the whole accountant vibe of the commercial.
Yeah.
Like it's the entire the writing in the commercial. It's like the only way that this commercial goes good or goes well is if Arch Manning is a Heisman quarterback.
Yeah.
Like other than that, those commercials are complete. They turn into, and then this is one of the things is like there was all this offseason talk about, hey, like Steve Sarkisian and Arch Manning, they declined the invitation to the cover shoot for the NCAA game, right? Well, you do that, and then you go out there and you have all these commercials going mid-game. It kind of feels like a mixed message, if you will.
Yeah. All right, boys. We got an hour in after a loss. Honestly, I like these better than like Sam Houston blowouts because there's nothing to talk about versus Sam Houston where you're just like, yeah, it looks good. We'll see next week. So at least we have a closer game. Is actually a little bit more interesting.
Every play is up for anybody that wants to go through that pain.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Nash, I got to tell you, man, I appreciate you doing that. That saved me many times.
Yep. The every plays are
Exactly.
crucial.
They're awesome.
You know what else is crucial? InsideTexas.com. Join for $1 and get a full year of access to The Athletic. If y'all had fun in the chat, you guys want to talk about it more, go to Inside Texas. The game thread has been absolutely popping, and you guys will be able to commiserate with your fellow fans and hang out with them, so y'all will enjoy it. Chat, thank you guys.
Connor, here's what you're really excited about.
Hmm.
You get to go watch Blake Shapen play football.
Oh, yeah, dude. Actually, I don't. I get to turn around and watch OU.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, I have to get ready for OU.
Okay.
I got to watch Colorado, man. I just saw the
Connor,
quarterback throw a pick.
you cannot act like you're upset. You get to go dive deep into all the stuff now, man.
Penn State, they won like 1 billion to 0. Like I just have to watch it to do my due diligence, but I'll be like, okay, like it's the same thing.
Well, and then here's the deal: is like Kent State, for as bad as people said about like Sam Houston State, I was saying this. I feel comfortable in saying that Kent State is the worst football team in all of Division I. Like they are consistently number 3, like bottom 3 team ranked across the board in everything. It's rushing, passing, total offense, total defense. They're like 133 or 134th out of 136 teams. Bad, horrible team. So you're going to learn nothing from Kent State.
Yeah.
UMass is giving them a battle for that, but we're gonna see. I don't know. I think Kent State can do it. I think Nash has good instincts, but Sam and UMass are trying to pull it out.
Look, I don't got a lot of instincts. I just see a lot of red.
Yeah, win or lose, hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns all day long,
guys.
man.
Thank you, chat, and then thank you, Paul, Nash, Nick. Everyone have a wonderful day, and this was brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Later, y'all.